the way things sound together, words and things. And
Yeah.
Cars, though, talking about cars, when I was, I don't even, God, when was Cars? Was it
79.
79? My God.
First time.
My mum and dad's best friend at the time was a sound engineer, and he did the sound engineering on Cars.
Really?
Yeah. And when you actually I was really young, and when you got, I think you got some, I don't know when it was, but a while after, a year after or something, you were presented with some gold disc or something, and he was as well, or whatever, platinum disc or something. And I went with him to London. It's like a trip up to London. I was only really young, little kid, and I actually got a bit freaked out because I thought I was going to have to talk to you, and I was like, what am I going to say to Gary Numan? I'm 5, this is not going to work for me. I was really scared. And I think you were, it was like lots of business sort of record industry types in suits, and you were the only one there who looks vaguely interesting, and I thought that he's got to be Gary Numan. So I don't think I knew what you looked like at that point. And I remember thinking he had quite a white face. I was probably 5 going, he's got Tipex on his face.
Oh,
not quite sure what has happened. So that was my first time I sort of saw you as a child, which is quite insane. And then as I was growing up, I really liked a lot of that stuff in Cars and our friends Electric in particular. And Julian had them on his iPod, and I said, oh, do you like Gary Numan? And he went, yeah, I love Gary Numan. And we were chatting about you. This is when we were writing our first series. And he was going on about you for a bit, and then he said that he was listening to a bit of your stuff, you know, to get excited. Because I think it might have been we were doing Electro Boy and stuff. And then he said he saw you in London, walked past when he was listening to you on his iPhone, and he thought he'd conjured you up. He was like, I've conjured up Numan. I went, oh, he's a ghost. We better start listening to him. There's some voodoo going on. So it was quite weird, because I'd already had some sort of weird experience as a little kid, as a nippler, and then Julian had liked you, and then we started. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's one of the things that we sort of bonded on. Frank Zappa was another one.
Yeah. I did see a ghost in London.
Did you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I was going up to Shaftesbury Avenue to buy my first proper guitar with my mate Gary Robson, and we always used to get on the back of the train, because there was always they're emptier. The carriages are emptier at the back of the train normally. Yeah. Piccadilly line. Got off at Piccadilly Circus, and because we're at the back, we're kind of following the flow of people, not really taking any notice where we're going, but just following the flow of people from our train. And we're going along, and there's a few people behind us, but not many. And there's this old boy in front of us with a long coat and a hat on it, and some other people in front of him. And we're chatting away. I'm all excited about getting a guitar, you know. And we get to the top of this particular escalator, because there's a few that you have to go up. And this bloke in front goes round to the left, and we followed him round. Go about 6 feet, nothing, just a wall.
Oh, really?
Absolutely nothing, yeah. And he was not really there. And it's lived with me forever. I've had 2 or 3 albums. I've had me dressed in those clothes on the cover.
Really?
The album that Our Friends Electric is on, there's the album cover is me looking out of a window.
Oh, really?
And outside the window in the street is a man. It's the same man.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then the freakiest thing about it is when I told my mum about it, she had a dream about it.
Really?
So, yeah, exactly the same thing had happened to it. It was really freaky. Yeah.
That is brilliant.
Yeah, to this day,
it's quite weird when you realise it's a ghost, because you're not scared, are you? Because I've seen.
I was. Actually.
Oh, you was?
Yeah. As soon as I realised,
quite a calm experience.
The good thing was my mate was there as well, and so we were both able. If you'd been on your own, you'd have had that doubt, wouldn't you? Did I really follow that bloke or not? But we were both there. Both walked around, both looked at each other, and we said, "You did, you did see the man, right? That's why we're here, up this dead end." And he went, "Yeah." And at that point, when he said yes as well, I did freak out. Actually, I was out of that station like a rocket.
You had blonde hair at one point, and then black hair, and I did exactly the same. I had blonde hair in the first, then black hair, and then I think you had blue hair on the cover of one of your, which is I've tried blue, but have you ever tried a perm?
No.
No, because I was going to go for a perm, and I thought, has anyone ever pulled off a perm? Not really. If you had a big sort of at the drive-in MC5 perm, that would be quite cool, but just the sort of loose David Hasselhoff. It can't
blue.
be done. Blue, maybe.
Try that. Make a statement.
Blue perm. All right, bush free, blue perm. And also the other thing is, would you do a cameo in the bush?
Yeah, absolutely.
You
yeah,
would?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great, because we're
Yeah.
writing at the moment.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
got a few ideas. We had an idea that Vince doesn't know, because he doesn't know he's like Mowgli, he doesn't know his mum and dad are. He's sort of from the woods. So, and he always asks Julian, who are my mum and dad? And he goes, you don't need to know about that. And then he goes looking for his dad, and then we thought it would be quite hilarious if his dad was Gary Numan.
I could do that.
You could do a spy,
Not much acting required.
Indian spy with 2 watches.
I could do that.
That's
I've
great.
experienced with that. Don't want to get typecast though.
As a spy.
Yeah, I'm
Or
always a
future
spy.
pirate. You've got a song on your album called In a Dark Place, haven't you?
Yeah.
And have you seen the show Dark Place?
No.
My friends do a comedy show called Dark, and it was called Dark Place. I just
Really?
wondered. It was
Oh, I
just,
didn't know that. No.
It's like about a sort of horror writer, and it was just ridiculous. But I just wondered if you'd seen it. It's very good. This is all nonsense. Have you ever done a film soundtrack?
I co-wrote one, yeah,
Oh, okay.
called The Unborn many years ago.
Yeah, it would have been a waste if you hadn't.
I'd like to do that actually. That's such a hard thing to get into.
Yeah,
Especially
I'm
if you're
surprised you've not
here.
been. You know.
But I think you probably need to be sort of living in Los Angeles and knocking on people's doors every day for that sort of thing to happen. Or massively, massively successful so they will know who you are anyway. And I'm not doing either of those things, really.
Really? Yeah. Have you ever lived in LA? No.
Yeah, I did.
Didn't
for
like
about,
it.
It was all right, actually. Yeah, it's about 5 or 6 months, I think. Yeah, I did quite like it. I
Yeah.
got where I used to
It's a
park
bit
my
hot,
car.
surely, for you.
No, it's all right.
What do you wear in LA? That doesn't work for me.
Stand in the shade.
Yeah, just in
Same place. A lot of
special
shade.
sort of cubicles that they wheel around.
Yeah, it's a weird thing happened. When I lived in Los Angeles, I had to fly to New York. And while I was away, I let somebody from Tyne Tees TV or something stay in my flat.
Yeah.
And he got there, dropped his bags off, went out to a local bar, saw somebody get shot in the face in the first 5 minutes.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah, that freaked me out because I thought I lived in a good bit.
In a good area.
Yeah, have years.
You can live there for a long time and not see any trouble, can't you? And then your friend comes over, so he's a face shooting, and it's off on the next plane home.
Nothing ever happened to me. I never even heard an argument.
Well, you've kind of got that image that I've always tried to manufacture, which is a sort of nightclub tan, slightly gothic, slightly dark. So people can't imagine what you'd wear in a hot country. Because I was in France recently, and Chris Morris texted me, "What the hell do you wear on the beach?" I'm trying to imagine it, and it's not working. In the end, he came to the conclusion it was a sort of glitter ball Victorian swimsuit, but he really couldn't envisage it at all, and I can't really envisage you in a hot country for some reason.
No, and I'm not going to say.
No.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not attractive anyway.
No. And the last thing I was going to ask you was, what was the last dream you had?
No, I don't. Honestly, I can remember a recurring nightmare I had when I was a kid, and 1 or 2 things in between, fragments. But my wife, every morning she wakes up and she can talk for an hour
About her
all the
dreams.
things that happened that night, and not a
You
thing.
never do.
Not a word.
I
Every
don't
once in a blue
remember
moon, when I wake up, I've got something.
Yeah.
Within seconds, it's gone.
Julian had a dream that one of our friends had a flower growing out of his nose. That was quite interesting. But dreams are never that interesting when you tell them to people. They go.
Oh, I do remember one. The last dream I had was similar to the one you had. I was waiting to go on stage and realised we hadn't done any rehearsal.
Oh, really?
And no one knew any of the
It was
songs.
an anxiety dream.
Yeah, an anxiety dream, yeah.
Oh, really?
But when that was probably a year or so ago, but
Really?
that'd be about it, yeah.
Yeah, well, thanks on behalf of all the Boosh. It's been a pleasure, and I've got my CDs for you to sign for me. I am a real geeky fan, and I've got my Gary Numan tie with me. But yeah, on behalf of myself and the Boosh, thank you. That was really
My
brilliant.
pleasure. Thank
And
you.
when I was 5 and I first saw you, I didn't imagine that one day, as an electro boy, I'd be interviewing Electro Man, Gary Numan. So thank you, and can we have a blast of your new single
Sure.
to see us out of this? We've got to stop somehow. We don't know how to end this interview. We just start playing it, or I'll never stop talking.